morning, everyone. I'd like to thank you all for coming to this beautiful portrait dedication ceremony for Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Rubio. At this time, I would like everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to be led by Falcon Student Council President Annalisa.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Leading us in our salute to the Texas flag, Falcon Student Council Vice President Alex Soto.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Please remain standing for the Falcon Creed by Student Council Secretary Leah Hines.
As a proud last Falcon, I'll be ready to learn and accept the challenge to be the best. I'll be responsible, on task, actively involved, and respectful. I will soar today.
All right.
Thank you, Falcon. It is now with great pleasure that I acknowledge our guests for this morning, beginning with our EPISD Board of Trustees. We have Ms. Lupita Fuentes, Board President. Board Vice President. Dr. Victor Alvarez, Board Secretary. Mrs. Glenna Purcell, Board Trustee. Mr. Rudy Bowles, Board Trustee. Mr. Jorge Barrera, Board Trustee. And Mr. Christopher Hiller, Board Trustee. From our District Service Center, it's my honor to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Iberto Gonzalez. Mr. Ismael Mijares, Deputy Superintendent for Business and Finance. Mr. Samuel Mijares, Deputy Superintendent for Curriculum Instruction. Mr. Rolando Salinas, Deputy Superintendent for District Operations. Mr. Jesus Costilla, Executive Director of Human Resources. And Mr. David Camarillo, Executive Director of Instruction. At this time, will all Glass Elementary representatives please rise to be recognized? And last, but certainly not least, will the Rubio family please rise to be recognized? Thank you all for being here with us this morning. It is truly an honor. It is now my honor to reintroduce our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Iberto Gonzalez.
All right.
Thank you, Daniela. Well, good morning to everyone, and of course to our board. They've already been recognized, but thank you so much for being here, Mrs. De Martinez, Mr. Rudy Bowles, and Mr. Jorge Barrera. Always supporting us, always supporting all of our projects, and this is a worthwhile project. Ms. Lupita Fuentes texted me that she was going to try and make it, but she's not here yet. Of course, she's a little bit tied up right now, but she sends her well wishes. And of course, also Dr. Alvarez and Mr. Hiller. And to the Rubios, thank you so much for being here. I know we are honoring your dad and your mom, you know, but I know you all came from far away, and thank you so much for being here. As I read a little bit about the Rubios, I do remember them. I never had the pleasure of being in their class, you know, but I do remember them. And they started working with Eagle Pass ISD in 1957, and I remember that because that's the year I was born. So you know, there's a correlation there. But we're certainly, Eagle Pass ISD is certainly a better district because of educators such as Mr. and Mrs. Rubio. They were not from here. They came down and they saw and they liked what they saw and they drank the water. If you drink the water, Eagle Pass water, Mr. Jorge Barrera is here. If you drink the water, you know, you kind of stay here, you know, and they felt Eagle Pass was a nice community to raise, you know, their family and so on, so they stayed. And again, I have to reiterate, Eagle Pass ISD is where we're at because of educators and leaders such as Mr. and Mrs. Rubio. In reading a little bit about them, Mrs. Rubio, and I'm going to start with ladies first. Mrs. Rubio was a first grade teacher for many years. She was also the bilingual coordinator for years also. Mr. Rubio taught English at Eagle Pass High School. I taught English many years ago also, so again, there's a similarity there. He was also an assistant principal at the Eagle Pass High School. He was federal programs coordinator, principal here at Glass, and principal at Seco Mines. What is unique, or the reason that we decided to place the portrait here, is because at one time both your mom and dad were here at this same campus. I want to say that your mom was here before he became principal, right? Okay. It's not that he hired her, right? But anyway, it's just to me, when I would see them and I see their picture, they seem such a lovely couple. Someone or people that really loved education, that liked to teach, and I want to say that many things have changed, from when they were educators to now. I mean, now the kids have laptops and computers and iPhones better than mine, let me tell you. I see the kids and they have the iPhone 10, I still have the iPhone 3, so, I'm trying to catch up. But, that was then and this is now, So there are some things that are different now, obviously. But I want to say that Mr. and Mrs. Rubio really love to teach, just like the teachers that we have now. And I want to say that our students way back then really wanted to learn, just like the students that we have today. And that's what makes Eagle Pass ISD great. And Corky was showing me some of the memorabilia, and I did see Mrs. Harper. There's a picture of her there, and she still looks just the same as Harper used to look. Okay. But also the other picture, or the other person that I saw there, was Mr. Muski's. I was here 2 weeks ago because he's our teacher of the month, and when I said, Mr. Muskis has been in education for 44 years, and there's proof right there. But going back to, again, Ms. Aurora Rubio and Mr. Jesus Rubio, there was something on the table from Jesse Jackson that says defining the great teacher, and it says great teachers are known by service, sacrifice, sensitivity, sincerity, and sanity. And again, I think that really describes Mr. and Mrs. Rubio. So we're very, very glad, very pleased to have this nice portrait, that in a few minutes we'll be relocating back to its original where it needs to be. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for being here. It's such a pleasure, to have you all here to commemorate your mom. Thank you all so much. Just one last thing. I had a really nice visit with Corky, before we started this, and he has fond memories of Eagle Pass. So much that he wrote a book. And when I read parts of the book, the HEB downtown, the La Tienda de los Venados, and all of that, Rexall, and so on. So it brought back fond memories for me too. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the reason why we are all here. Will Mr. and Mrs. Jesus Rubio's children please come forward to share a few words?
I'm really overwhelmed. I don't even know what to say, but that's just typical about Eagle Pass, that we are such embracing people. I don't know how to thank you enough. But on behalf of our family, my sisters and my immediate family, my wife and my children, and my daughter's husband, I'd like to thank you so much for the honor that you have bestowed upon us today. I really want to thank Superintendent Gonzalez, because when I went to see him and run the idea by him, he was so kind, embracing, respectful. I was just, because I had done other things and didn't receive the same reception that I got from the school, but that's just a reflection of the school. The school is like that. It's embracing to all of us. So I want to thank him, and to Mr. Rudy Bowles, who was our neighbor for many years. He also has helped us to have this come to fruition, this dedication to them. And he knew me when I was a little kid and I had hair, and now I don't. So I lived right over there and used to walk over here, because this used to be the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and so did my sisters. So we are very, very, very close. You know, my parents, my dad's mom was from Eagle Pass here, but she's from Muskie's actually, but she lived here. And during the flood, she wanted them to come here to live with her. He didn't want to come, as he liked San Antonio. He had been drafted from high school, Eagle Pass High School, before he even graduated. He had a master's degree with no high school diploma. And so he had been to San Francisco and all these places. That's where he wanted to live. And my mother was from Hebronville, Texas. She had taught before. So when they came here, there weren't very many jobs. There were no jobs. And my mom adapted very, very well to teaching, but my dad had a difficult time. And then I heard that first year, Rudy, was very, very tough for him. They broke him, or they made him, or they broke him, but they broke him. So he was here. But they loved this city so much, and my sisters and my family and I are so grateful that we decided to move and live here, because we have made lifetime friends that I continue to have, that they continue to have. And I tell my friends in San Antonio, this fellow was with me in the 1st grade, or kindergarten. I have friends from kindergarten, from Mis Briones at the Catholic school. And they can't believe it, because their friendships are not very close and long-lasting. So we were very, very grateful that we lived and grew up here, and so that was a great thing. But you know, my parents, they're the ones who lived here. They quickly adapted, made many friends here, and they loved the people of Eagle Pass. So I'm just going to tell you one or two little stories about that real quickly, to tell you what kind of educators that they were. So not only did they teach, that wasn't just an 8 to 5 job. Not for them, not for my parents. I'll never forget one day we were coming in, we were going to sit at the table to eat, and one of my sisters, Lily, said, "I saw so-and-so and she had my sweater on." And then the other one said, Helen says, "I saw so-and-so, she had my skirt on." And my mother said, "Look, this little girl and that little girl, they don't have the resources to be able to have those things. You have sweaters and you have skirts, and they need to have those things. So look at it from the point of view you're helping other people, your own friends, to be able to go to school and share your skirt and your blouse." That's the kind of people that my parents were. My dad would counsel students to make sure that they went to college. He helped them with their letters of recommendation and all. I can't begin to tell you all the stuff. There's always somebody at our house. My dad ran the concession stand at the football games, and I mean, I just can't begin to tell you. It was not an 8 to 5 job. It was a lifetime dedication, a lifetime career. And my sisters and I, my family, we are just so dedicated, and I mean, we were so lucky, so blessed to have been born in that family. And we only hope that we can do a little bit of what they do. So I can see that, because I can see the results of their work here in Eagle Pass by all the good citizens and people we have. I always tell everybody, this is my home. Yeah, I've lived in San Antonio 40 years, but Eagle Pass is my home. And they all know me. "Oh yeah, Eagle Pass." That's right. Don't say anything bad about Eagle Pass. Defend.
That's right.
So I again wanted to take this moment to thank you, and we are just very honored that you have given this blessing to my parents. Thank you.
I just wanted to say a little something. Thank you again, because I did come to school here, and we are very blessed. But I know my parents would probably relate this message to you. So educators, continue to illuminate our children with education. Give them the wisdom, the courage, and the faith they need to conquer what's going on in our world today and the future. And that's all I want to say is thank you so much for continuing to bless these children with your knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you both for those beautiful words. As an Eagle Pass transplant myself, I can truly say that I'm very lucky to live here in Eagle Pass because it is very welcoming, and when you join EPISD, you join a family. With that being said, it is my honor to introduce Board Vice President Mrs. Hilda Martinez to come and read the dedication.
In memory of Mr. Jesus and Mrs. Aurora Rubio, longtime educators who dedicated 57 total years of their lives and love for the children of Eagle Pass. Dates of service: Jesus R. Rubio, September 1957 to May 1989. Aurora B. Rubio, November 1957 to May 1982.
Thank you, Mrs. Martinez. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the Rubio family one more round of applause. This concludes our formal ceremony. I would like to invite you all to continue in this celebration with us with the amenities and to visit with the Rubio family. But right now, we are going to invite the Rubio family, our Board of Trustees, and Mr. Gonzalez to hang this portrait in its final resting spot. Thank you all for coming, and one last time, round of applause for two fine and very missed educators, Mr. Jesus and Mrs. Aurora Rubio.